Making a Budget Explained by Wall Street Survivor.
What's up, everybody? It's Levi from Wall Street Survivor, and today we're taking the bull by the horns. We're talking about budgeting. Budgeting just sounds like you're stuck in a small room with somebody incessantly raking their nails across this chalkboard. Yikes. I know, this isn't exactly David Dobrik level entertainment, and I'm certainly not going to try to convince you to sit down and have a fun budgeting conversation. Honestly, this is probably why people don't often learn about or are so terrible at budgeting. Which is why this video has to be made. I mean, imagine signing yourself up to teach a bunch of angsty adolescents about personal finance. Sounds like a joy. No wonder we didn't learn this in high school. Okay, as repulsive as the idea of budgeting can be, I know you're here for a reason. Just by clicking on this video, you've mostly embraced swallowing the pill of taking on more financial responsibility, you're looking to curb your spending habits, you want to live within your financial means, and you're working toward building a financial future for yourself. So cheers to you for being here, and hopefully I can make this a little bit more interesting than your 10th grade personal finance teacher. One of the ways I'm going to do this is I'm going to introduce psychology into the process of budgeting. I've always loved psychology, and although I'm definitely not an expert, I did grow up with parents who were both psychologists. And yes, you can imagine I was constantly psychoanalyzed as a child. I've always enjoyed the intersection of money and psychology, so today we're going to explore how knowing more about your brain and yourself can help you form awesome financial habits like budgeting. Again, thanks for watching this video. Please like it and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this coming soon. Now let's get into the meat of the video. 4 psychology tips to help you start saving money. Okay, number 1, budget for your future self. This idea ties in with what is called the self-concept theory in psychology. The idea is that we see ourselves in 2 ways, our present self and our future self. If you think about it, when you think about your future self, often you're a lot better of a person or doing a lot more good things when you think about yourself in the future. This is why we're obsessed with goals and growth as humans. Well, one of the key aspects of self-concept theory is taking action. We use and remember the actions that we take to inform the idea of the direction we're going and whether or not we're progressing toward that ideal future self, regressing toward a worse version of ourselves, or kind of staying put where we're at. So as we take actions that your brain registers as moving closer to your ideal future self, our brain's reward center lights up. It can bring us joy, shift our mood, and make us overall more happy and more productive. So, how does that relate to budgeting? Take some time to think about your financial goals and what your ideal financial self is in the future. And then incorporate budgeting to make those goals happen so that every action that you take moves you closer toward that ideal self out there in the future, and then your brain will start rewarding you for taking those actions and you'll feel amazing. As you take more and more actions, you'll begin to build momentum and you'll literally start feeling like you're becoming and embodying the goals that you have, moving closer and closer to your ideal future self. Brain hacks. Next, we're going to talk about this little chemical called dopamine. So for psychology tip number 2, we're going to come in with budget using small goals. See, inside the brain's reward center, there's a chemical called dopamine that is released anytime we complete something, accomplish something, or do something that we feel good about. This is why it feels so good to check off to-do lists, and you can make your budgeting goals a lot like checking off a to-do list. If you have small, measurable, daily or weekly goals, you'll be able to build that momentum and those dopamine receptors will continue lighting up, making you feel awesome about accomplishing your goals, even if they're small. So think about smart spending, smart saving, and smart investing, and try to have weekly goals that have to do with each so that you'll start getting those dopamine hits and your brain will make you feel awesome. Okay, so now for tip number 3, budget with change. This budget tip originates from the psychological phenomena called the fresh start effect. Anytime we anticipate changes in our lives, whether that be something as small as a seasonal change from fall to winter, a new birthday, maybe you graduated college or high school, maybe you just got a new job, maybe you just got married. Any life transitions that you perceive affect your brain and give you what's called a fresh start. This motivates you to change and pick up new habits. So try to line up budgeting goals like spending smarter, saving smarter, or investing more with significant times in your life, whether that's birthdays, anniversaries, graduations, whatever the case may be. Set goals like, hey, I want to save $1,000 up by my next birthday. Or conversely, set a reminder on your phone for your birthday to start saving $50 a week to put into an investment brokerage. I'm not going to give you guys specific amounts of money or specific time frames because everybody's at their own stage of life and should be able to set goals accordingly, but these tips will help it make it easier on your brain and help you form these budgeting habits faster. Okay, so for tip number 4, budget as a human, not as a calculator. Now, this may seem obvious, but it's more difficult than you think. See, we're terrible at tracking dollar amounts. If I asked you how much money have you spent today, it'd probably take you at least a few minutes to recollect everything, and you probably have no idea even what those receipt amounts were. Maybe you could estimate, but you're not keeping track of every dollar and cent that's coming out of your bank account. So instead of budgeting as a calculator, try to budget as a human. Whenever you're making a big purchase, think about what your salary is or how much money you make an hour, and convert that into time instead of money. So if I want to buy a new TV, it might take me 25 hours of working to save up for that TV. Oftentimes, this can put things into a much better perspective, and it actually shows you the cost of the money that you're spending rather than just the dollar amount. Another really important thing with budgeting is that maybe instead of saying, oh, I'm going to spend $100 on rideshare this month, it's definitely easier for your brain to track a frequency over a dollar amount. So say it's the 25th, nearing the end of the month, and you're trying to remember how much money you've spent on rideshares. That's probably going to be really tough. But if you can say, hey, I'm going to limit my ride sharing to twice a week, it's really easy to remember how many times you've used a rideshare app that week. So when you're setting goals or evaluating a purchase, convert your dollar amount into frequency or time. This just makes it easier for you to keep track of things and to weigh the real costs and real value of whatever items you're looking to buy or whatever services you're going to spend money on. To help you out because you're not a calculator, I would highly suggest getting a bank account or a budgeting app that automatically categorizes your spending and can silo off your money into different budgeting areas. A couple apps I would recommend would be Simple Checking Account, Mint for budgeting, and looking into getting something like Chime or Acorns for rounding up your purchases and automatically transferring your money into an investment brokerage. If you guys want more specific, concrete tips about budgeting, please let me know in the comments below. I'd be happy to do a part 2. Again, this video was just to give you a baseline and to help you understand a little bit more about how your brain works so that you can set smarter budgeting goals. Once you've set those goals, I'd be happy to make another video and we can talk about how realistic your goals are and how well they align with common personal finance advice. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hopefully it was entertaining and helpful. If it was, please leave it a like down below. Make sure to subscribe to our channel for more videos coming soon. Follow us on social media, and I'll see you guys soon.